Dead men tell no tales. That's what the defendant told Philip Drummer when he inquired about the details of the murders of Robbie Meireis and Elizabeth Tonsmeire.
I was trying to not find out about it, but then I was probing, and he kind of shut down. But then he went on to say, dead man tells no tales.
Not that I didn't do it. Not that I wasn't there. But the dead men tell no tales. And neither do dead women. And that is why Elizabeth Tonsmeire lost her life back on 11/14/2015. Because she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And when Robbie Meireis was murdered, Elizabeth Tonsmeire could not live to tell the tale of what had occurred. I had to get that little bitch. That's what William Moondog Grossman overheard the defendant say when the defendant was speaking to others about Robbie Meireis. They ain't going to be able to prove nothing. That's what the defendant told Bennett Tackett. When Bennett Tackett approached him and asked him point blank period whether or not he killed Robbie Meireis. They ain't going to be able to prove nothing. That's what he told Bennett Tackett. Not that I wasn't there. I didn't do it. I was over at my girlfriend's place. They ain't going to be able to prove it. Those statements were implied admissions. They were consciousness of guilt. The statement made to James LeBlanc Tweedy was a full-on confession. The defendant admitted to James LeBlanc Tweedy that he shot Robbie Meireis and that he shot Elizabeth Tonsmeire.
Beyond a reasonable doubt, it is the highest level of proof in our legal system. It is not enough that you believe a defendant is probably or likely, or even that the evidence shows a strong probability of guilt. The law requires more. Their case circles around LeBlanc Tweedy. And Facebook. A Facebook photo and some other things from Facebook. That's what the state wants you to convict my client of 2 counts of murder in the first degree. Mr. Darnell said, oh, there weren't any phone calls later that evening. Why would you call a dead woman? Why would you call a dead woman indeed, Mr. Darnell? He called her multiple times at 1:34. According to their own botched theory, she would be dead, right? So what the state wants you to do is believe their facts when it suits them, believe their witnesses when their witnesses say something that suits them, but not the other times. The bottom line here is that the state presents to you their evidence, LeBlanc Tweedy and Facebook, a photo posted on 11/2 when he was posturing, he was upset that day, having nothing to do with this. Wants you to convict my client of 2 counts of murder in the first degree with that. No forensics, no murder weapon, a time of death not scientifically analyzed, decided, conclusions. In somebody's opinion, that was the time of death. It's a construct completely contrived by the state and JPD. And there are all sorts of things that don't make it so that that timeline is bogus. You don't know what happened. With this evidence, you don't know the movement of killers inside condo. It's unknown. Location of murder weapon, unknown. Time of death, an actual time of death, unknown. LeBlanc Tweety, not trustworthy. Facebook photo tells us nothing. My client's life, liberty, is in balance. The law requires more. More than the probably or likely guilty. The only just verdicts here, not guilty, not guilty.
It's been quite a while since the last break. Facilities. Lunch came 20 minutes ago. I don't want to take a lunch hour at this point in the middle of